Back in 2015, it was clear that with a 3-act ballet with a lot of sound effects interspersed with kind of chamber music, large orchestral music, and kind of techno music, electronic music, that to piece it together we would need some kind of roadmap which sits on a bed of timecode. And the timecode allows us to be very accurate with where these events happen. It's not just like reading a score.
The music track is tied to the visual elements that you see on the stage, and there's a whole nother electronic track that is part of the sound and musical presentation, and it all has to run in sync all the way through.
Because everything is so rigid in terms of time, to keep the dancers aware of where they are in the piece, demand on the orchestra to play pretty much exactly the same all the time. So to that end, the maestro and many of the musicians are wearing a click track in their ears.
We have to really stick with that. And it's a challenging process because it's electronic, it is unrelenting, it has no give or take at all. As a conductor, our DNA when we're rehearsing and when we're conducting the orchestra is listening the whole time to the orchestra and adjusting and asking for slightly different tempos or rubato or balance, levels, louder or softer or whatever. When you're working with a click track, which you have to stay with, basically you have to cut off a lot of that part of your brain that is listening to the orchestra. I tell you, it is so easy to just go to what is natural and listen to the orchestra, and suddenly, oh my God, I'm off the click track because your brain has just taken you somewhere else. So that is, part of the big challenge with this.
My role getting to this point here goes back quite a long time, 6 months or so, where we were talking to the venue, what equipment they had. Max was really after was a very cinematic approach, what he called widescreen. And it's quite a dry environment. Quite often opera houses are not as reverberant as you might expect. And we're trying to very often make a sort of spatialized sound. So by using surround sound loudspeakers and placing some electronic sounds, sound effects, in different loudspeakers, when you're sitting in the auditorium, you get this idea that you're in a sort of more immersive environment, which was very much the idea right from the beginning.
All the string players have actually microphones on their instrument. I mean, the whole thing has been amplified in the house. The orchestra has to balance what is you hear electronically, so the whole orchestra is amplified. Chris is great. I mean, he understands the piece. He's done the piece everywhere it's been done before, and he knows exactly what needs to happen and what the balance is, and he can adjust balances too.
The dancers are amazing, and they've been rehearsing now for 6 weeks in New York. But I'm really impressed with the orchestra and the orchestral direction from Ormsby Wilkins and his team. Play extremely well, and that's what we desperately. I can't do anything with how the musicians play, so I receive that and then I manipulate it to hopefully get the right result for Max and Wayne and the dancers.